kɛse so enwumaku o maso yasene ema abribia e bedene ha bia de enwuma Nsroma Kaseɛbɔ no ebrewo Cyrus TV na afen so Apam Global Outreach asafo a evangelist papa ni Ajeman the missions coach edano eno nti awie bremu se wo pe baabi na wo wo ha no wusu wamane wa bebrese nyina akwa kogudia wase yamra ne nkyɛn ye na ye so ye ne so abre no eno nti bomode na awie bremu fu ani kyeremu ewo Apam Outreach asafo so Trom Rescue Junction na asafo yi ebutu eno nti baabi a wo bia bomode a na fu ani kyeremu ewo ho mesa so akai wo se March ne da etoso ensia enso ene enkro no na chasa 7th 7th 8 no ye nyina ye de ni ekyeremu ewo Apam fie ye be bompa ye den pa 3 days prophetic and testimony service and aye ba be bomode a e ba be bo enti bomode a nyame adoma March no on the 6th Emma empa ho na mesra wo say on the 8th na ye last day no ye communion service pa enti mesra wo enyu hu mfim wa wani tua say communion service there wa wo ma bida na wonya ho asem nka na emom oni ya wo fi a wo hwe me no o mama nkasa bebre obeka na na yes is believing enu nti me de me how be by na ye kidney problem na so nyame na mo communion service no ama me so made me hu afri yare kontonchi ho enti bomode a na hwehwe ye twa kwan se ne abribia ye betena fidi kase esu a ye ka no ye be hwe ensema edi kase imu akotene dia na chese ye de ni atwremu e wo mrahye badwafi a se ne na ye mampani John Dramani Mahama or state nation address no na openi a obisa ya mampani asem afenwoma ke wo ye kase mu no obetense ma openi e kan ye ye be kokwa me nkomosi apo no emu na ho na abrantie bi akwakoku ababa we bi ye de ho nsemi na babeso ye kase no so so na 24-hour economy no ma me Elizabeth na ye di dwumade ahye ne nsa wono nso so ogusua edi ni dwuma wakase mu yi wobeti mu nkyeremu Ghana Immigration Service mpanimfo so gyina simpie so de nsembi atu eja efa won bases ahoda wodigi dwuma Adam Kasia no Adam ketwa no aye oye kyerɛkyerɛ nchepa wo ma sema wo ka nyina ne se eye aban dada obesen kɔ no enema wo ye no ototo wantoto na se de NDC fo ebetoto niama ase no State of the Nation address Ghana mampeni kwa kenkan endrada no edom kuma no de nsembi epiefre ho ensembi kan semi ho na menimenu aba yaje kasemu edi kasemu chiame edi ameje so eye ka kire nuana na ya Sikapa menimenu aba na ama Fordjour ebetwa ye ho aba ye ba ye didi aka wetwe nyina bebrɛ Yenda sesa okan ye ho ma ye dane ye ho ye bora ensam no enkyeremu dia ye kwa kopie mu ewo eye Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology na empedinfo edinse bi epiefiri ho ede aba wo kyeremu say February bosom ne da na etoso edwenu enson ewo afi emu na abrantie bi a ye frɛ no eye Daniel odeninsa ekokeka baba we bi a ye frɛ no eye Joanna Deladem eku a wenya emfinu edenu baako na ni nyina ene se impe aposifo ye nhyehyemu wo hu ne se abrantie Daniel ne nkanchema ene sa ababa wa Joanna na mentem ho ate bi ko wontem eno enenam so ama abrantie yi so ababa wa no ekon a ode ne 90 an ko oto na nanom ewo ensie do we enam so ama aposifo bo eye nan kopie mu ewo ho wodi ababa wa no emu no akwakopie mu ewo Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology omo ayaresabia ana isukwotua adaka mu ewo ho a mpenifo ebomodin aye nhyehyemu ewo eye ababa wa no ne badi no ehum na insembe brenu a ena mpenifo aye nhyehyemu wode ababetu eja wo kyeremu se abrantie Daniel eye tafo eya de a ode ne nsa keka babaawa no na nhyehyemu bi on wosan so eyeye ene se wo hu CCTV camera ewo eye bia na babaawa no eda wo hu mfoni e kire se abrantie Daniel ena ede ne nsa keka eye ababaawa yi eni ntinom aposifo ebechi abrantie ede won ko won atena ye ekoye nhyehyemu no ko fidi nhyehyemu asem Wankata wode bambonten no wokyere mu se senia aye no Dr. George Kufu Dampare meche police sahene abomoden akopie mu ewo eye ababa we efie akoma ebusuafo no yakọ se ni abenyina no wonfa encho no bobomodin din hyehyemu mapa no edi egu akwan so eni tikrate epie mbonten so no nipa anensa ehyase eni Grace Asan Akrofi ono no eye assistant commissioner ewo police director meche public affairs eho ena openi ewo anche ena wosanso de nkrata afoforo pie mbonten so sa brante wode no akogine mu ewo asemdibia na asemdibia kwotena ne nsam so no wona sanso achi asem no ede asan abrante no ekwa akokira posifo kukumu sene ebebo ma nhyehyemu mapa no etumi akoso wosanso ekire mu se ena mentem ho ase ana oyene esi ewo eye Kwame Nkrumah Apam no emu no apoti Fordjour no a na abomoden akwakoche suku hobie ni na no edi ehia wo hwe se bangbo ho nsem no ebetumi akoso wokyere mu se wode mobile patrol enum akosuku no emu anti robbery team ede akwakopie mu ewo ho patrol officers ye eduasa enkron 39 wonso wo free eye asantemantam no emu akwakobo ban ewo Kwame Nkrumah University ho se ne ebeboa amasa oyeni ye man ho soro enkoma no humini su ebiu wasanso tintim wonkrata no so se enam sanya mbaransema abrantie edi yenti no ayade CCTVs awodo bebre no a ewo suapon no emu a se bribi kura ekoso obebomodi ehu eninti no wono ede CCTV awodo no bebre no a ede aka ho a wo hwe se bribi sa no enkoyi niti ewo ho ebiu
Arawesam Bera hopa meti asem ya mi hu asem yi no na mesen afem ye ye mabusu nyina hyeden ona wahwere ajapade entese ye momo hyeden emu ayade na so ye momo hyeden ye beto aso de na ye de ni ebetwemu ewo mame Elizabeth Ejare wono na Ghana mampani apaw no se 24-hour economy ne onyina mu se ne be ya enyuma no obetimi atremu sene ebeya mabunu na wo moba no omubenya ejuma ediaye mami edinani ekiremu bia omoye pad na omoye pampers ana afenso software mami kiremu a obaye obepie mu ewo ejuma ye hobia no nani aso ejuma entimamufuo no anase workers no eye nani age omo ho pa na said ye Ghana mampani ahyebo say 24-hour economy no obebo modia na watrem sane ebeya enkoba ne say obi betena fie na obi anya adwuma nye na wo hwe dwumadi a workers wo ho no edi dwuma na nani age ho pa na ye mami ekeka ne nsem nyina ekosi say ewo factory honom no workers almost 4,000 na eye adwuma wo honom na sane ye Ghana mampani aye no omobara ne shift sane ebeya enipa dodo na be te say 10,000 ebenya ejuma aye na sede Ghana mampani energy import ehono sene yebe import ne ma bebre sene be ya yesika no emu ebeyedu
be miensa ba ko ye pad ba ko ye diaper ba ko ye no so ye hardware many ajepa if it's a factory here in Kwano omofa nipa eko 4,000 almost 4,000 direct jobs and you can calculate and get the indirect jobs that this creates. Now the many aji omo hone say enioma na omo je ewo factory hano enioma na ye di foreign exchange ekraba hano ti say sanitary parts ti say diaper ti say soap enti say ye bo omo no omo ye bi ka ho a ye import ne so beti say ye import bebra ye cedi no ene ho ye den ema ye depend on dollar ni too much entiera mahama so say opese o ma export ekonanim enti me hwe factory ya omu wa ahoden say on be export more enti ebeboa omo na oma join the 24-hour economy no ma run 3 shifts enti say shift omu yepo na edi mo almost 4,000 staff ye hwe say ye 3 shifts na under Excellency John Dramani Mahama 24-hour economy no na da omo fidie ni siso a mi wogidie say be fa nipa be 10,000 the more so omo ye adwuma no the more na ebetimi export bi na ye momu age foreign exchange na ba ye krom ha enti ebe boa omo ama omo nyoma na ye kama woni maka tax ho asem oni omo so abomi nkoma afa diaper ye di kwati kwan edi wura krom ha na hoden no the standards are very low enti eno many FDA fu ahia edi ho nkomo dada nyoma no ma sha ase ye ne susumani je ho mo ye dada no mo hye mu kena ama na ye kama na ye wura ato forcing so ani abre ho pa se enyoma ye de smuggle de bahade on so
Sa ensem no eso na fe de ni akyemu ewo eye nkane mrahwebejeni edema mrahwebejeni edema abaton peso bi eso mehye na media mamo na openino ni di ene Al Hassan Fusaini openino ne nsema ode atu eja ene se ye hwe pensioners a wode won sika ebe share eye DDP no emu domestic debt exchange program no eye ade ebo aye pa eni ntimpenifo e kire mu se wo so wode nyoma etototo na kwanso se ebeboa ama bibia no etimi akoso eni nti openinu e kire mu se ensem bebre no ana mpenifo awodo no eka ede fa eye sika Ghana mampeni ana inkane mampeni etoto na se openinu e kire mu se eye pensioners dodo no a ene de won foto won jetire ede be hye sa DDEP no nanso no aban aba besenko etoto na se me ka chichiri die enkofo ni sika wodi be hye won awanya mfaso de won so bibibie ni won saka won sika no ko wode be hye mu no wono ensa anka kopem se NPP aban no ebaye na wode nyoma etoto na kwan eso openi eye inkane mrahwebejeni edemas sanarigu ensam sei eno ode tu eja
has already instituted a sinking fund with billions of Ghana cedis already paid into it. The evidence of the sweetness of the pudding is not the aroma, it's in the eating. If they had all this, how come bondholders were not paid? Look at the suffering pensioners who have suffered and given the best of their lives. Some of them 4-5 decades of their life to serve this country. Look at the excruciating hardship they've had to undergo. Some of them were given haircuts, but crude haircuts, and I will even call them head cuts, not even head cuts, because some of them lost their lives as a result of the lack of money to even buy medicines and others, because their monies were frozen by government. President Mahama, in this short period of time, has already made good that promise. Accountability has started. You can begin to see those who abuse state resources and abuse their position and state resources are paying back.
Abusia wansemya mu a former MP Alasa ede ebabetru dwana woka o kire mu se wono de ansema Mahama kan yesenka o katre aban dada ne se hwe na wan employee obia wan employee obia no moba omobebo modin a employee adwumayefo no wantie na no bo modin a employee nti omo ni problem bia na senkofo wo hwemu na senkofo bi benya problem dia na chese eye MPP fo no.
Can the hyena be pleased with the dance of the goat? No matter how graceful the goat dances, it can never please the hyena. It cannot please them. We ousted them from power. So you expect them to commend us, even when it is glaring. The commendation we are looking for is from Ghanaians. And I'm sure, listen to the ground, Ghanaians are so happy about the things. I think the last people who should be talking about it is even the MPP. They should shut their mouths. You know what happened under their regime? They sacked thousands of more Ghanaians who were employed under the aegis of the NDC. They sacked thousands of them. You can recall that in the process of the transition, when the transition teams were formed, President Mahama and the government issued a clarion call to the MPP that in consonance with good government and ethical practices, nothing by way which has financial implications for the incoming government should be done without recourse to the government. Okay? And that was accepted. So that was accepted as a principle of the transition. And so, in the aftermath of December 7, they were not entitled to make any employment to any other decision without recourse to the government. We have a transitional act, and the transitional act entails that in consultation with the incoming government. The outgoing government must not do anything that has financial implications on the incoming government. And that to do so, they must endeavor to consult the incoming government about those actions that have financial implications. They never did that. That was a brazen violation of the Transition Act and the article of good faith that the government had exhibited towards the outgoing government. So if you go behind me, I am coming into government, and you go behind me and saddle me with serious financial implications without my knowledge and consent, should I sit back and absorb it? No sane person would do that by the MPP. He said those made after December 7th. I'm sure you get that clear. Saddle me with serious financial implications without my knowledge and consent. Should I sit back and absorb it? No sane person would do that. If you do that, you kill yourself even before you have the right to govern. And so the government has acted legitimately. It did not say that all appointments made by the MPP. It said those made after December 7th. I'm sure you get that clear. So make a distinction. The government has indicated that appointments.
Free and Canema Shabajani at the Masala Rigu, Penino, and Chena, Fayeni, and Shimo, and Dagana Mampeni, a cooking kind States of the Nation address, or Minor Bobreno, and or the Cotu Age in Sembe Brenoir, and Penino, Editu Age, Casafa, and Yenuma who to be Brenoir. Na asamba kwa okanye a ekoye edema okada and there were no atede and no any say obehye wo de nyome gugu na kwemu embra ne nyome bie twasafata say wodi ebedi dwuma wonse eye ahyen awodo na eye bomodin register ebi won ko omo ekuo a omo edon eniti dane de ne yegegege omo eto asabe yade bi ba akwanhie bi ba biribi ho techema wotumi enya sa emfasode no ebi no wo kire mu say okada no woni bi eniti Ghana mampani gina simpie so endra no ena ode atu eja say embra bi e for the okada ho bia no ode di ensem eso ora Joseph Bukari say one more modern so obeto ato ne o man wode nyamesisie ni na embra bi e for the okada ho no wono edi edijuma.
Motorcycles and tricycles, commonly known as Okada, hold significant potential as a more convenient, timely, safe and cost-effective mode of transport. Currently, the Road Traffic Regulation of 2012, LI 2180, prohibits licensing motorcycles and tricycles for fare-paying passengers. As part of our government policy, the Ministry will amend the regulatory framework to regularize the use of motorcycles and tricycles for commercial. The whole airport, the government will facilitate the establishment of the state-of-the-art pilot training academy and a maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility. The Volta region will become a center of excellence for aviation training and aircraft maintenance. This project will create significant employment opportunities. It will stimulate economic growth and bolster tourism in Ho and the surrounding communities. Mr. Speaker, with the completion of the Tema-Mpakadan rail line, the government will launch passenger services between Tema and Adomi. We'll also begin developing the necessary infrastructure on the Volta Lake to facilitate freight transport between Tema Port and Bupe as part of our Eastern Corridor multimodal transport system. The Western Railway line will continue to be modernized in partnership with the private sector. This initiative aims to support the efficient transport of bulk cargo and minerals from the mines in Nsuta, Awaso, and Yinahin to the Takrady port, while providing passenger transport along the Western.
Usia wasansem ye mu ena Ghana mampeni mu mfa mu nkomachi kakra abra Ghana mampeni ye campaign no o hye Ghana fo nyina abose obabo modern no bebe ye mampeni a ade ba ko da ne nakoma so eye se obema emabunu no enya adwuma ede aye eno nti na no obra o address state no asema wo kan ye nyina ene se obebo modern ede adwuma ama aba said ebe ya mebunu no benya adwuma ye na adwuma ba ko a obodin eye adwuma wura program no o se obebo modern a said ebe ya emofra no ene ye na ya ba no obi o no ma oni adwuma ye otifie na chese wo ye ne ma ye se na fata enu nti no Ghana mampani ahye ye nyina ye bo se obema emebunu no anya adwuma aye.
Job creation is one of our main pillars. And it was one of the major promises we made to the youth of Ghana. To help actualize this promise, we're going to roll out
what we call the Ejuma program. This initiative will create, track and mentor young businesses annually with a special focus on our youth. For the first phase, the top 2,000 implementable business proposals will be supported with business development training, mentorship, access to startup capital, marketing, and networking to operationalize their innovations and business ideas. We will also launch our flagship National Apprenticeship Program to equip at least 10,000 young people in the informal sector with employable skills, including providing apprenticeship fees and startup kits when they have completed. The Youth Development and the Interior Ministries will facilitate the training of our young people in the Okada business. In areas such as road safety regulations, financial literacy, and digital skills, as well as facilitating the acquisition of motorbikes. We will introduce electric motorcycles on a high purchase scheme to eliminate the use of petrol and make their businesses more profitable.
So Ghana Mampeni and Sabinoa Eso and the State of the Nation address or the Kotu Ejo Marshbeje Fieno. Openinu Jina Simpius no Sanso Ekasa Edefa. Jume die bia na policy bia enka no baye or de ebaye eno no enkokon ketin no nya boss na chese Marshbeje obi ade da form omo de sedie saa. Openinu akiremu a ye hye ma ye import edi free nkofo ekroso export free nkofo nkroso edi baye manga na emu a eba no nkoko dwumedie no a ejina ohanchechemu no edu okron enum 95%. Na no openinu akiremu se eye bosumu miense bia na enunu ejina Ghana sika no eye 300 million Ghana cedis na openinu echiremu a sansi kechichiri die ade eso pam edintini ne wobeye ene se wobehye Ghana eye enkukodwumedie no mu kena ewo oman no emu se eba ne nkosua eba no akokɔ eba ne sanyomani na wode ne mabetototo na kwanso sane ebeboa ama Ghana yedwuma efa no eye nkokɔ nyen ne sanyoma no etumi afa ne ntimapa no efra openinu sanso echiremu se eba ne saa na eye mfiefie beye 550,000 ene benya so emfaso na obeye no kwan soronko so se embegun no ebedo wonkon na wode wo ho afode for saa dwumedie no emu.
Ghana imports 95% of its poultry needs, which costs over $300 million annually. To reverse this trend, government plans to revamp the poultry sector by investing in hatcheries, feed mills, processing, and distribution, working towards eliminating poultry imports. And this is a good one. The Nkukon Kitinkiti project. We actually have a project called Nkukon Kitinkiti. The Nkukon Kitinkiti project will cover 55,000 households producing eggs and fresh poultry for the market, and it will help reduce our $300 million we spend on importing chicken annually.
Abusia wasanse mimwa ena Ghana Mampeni ora John Dramani Mahama ode ensem foforo ebetudwa openini nsema wakan nyina ne se sade wakwakoye Ghana Mampeni die obechiresi o na o tumri ai otumra no wachiresi sade Ghana Mampeni ede nsem tudwa no osaso echiremu se obebo modia na suku bia sisia obebo modia obesi bia no ewo se teachers no enya baabi a sebi omudi omu etube omuti ebeto eba ne sa eboa e ma de ekire no ekoye enu nti no wahyaga na fo nyina abo se suku bia obebo modia obesi no obebo modia asanso esi baabi a teachers for no omu benya baabi omudi omuti beto.
The Speaker, as part of our Teacher Dabre initiative, the construction of teacher accommodation units to improve welfare and attract teachers to rural areas will commence this year. Mr. Speaker, No new school will be built in this country without teachers' accommodation.
So ejire mu Ghana mampeni ensama oditu eja ni simpie so na ogina ye wo mahwebetwa ho na okasa no okire mu ensembebre titiro kasa fa ye Sikapa no ehum na eno no okire mu se wode weni ekọ energy sector ho a ade aban ababesen ekọ mekire NPP amanyoko na Ghana mampeni ananka na mampeni na nado danko ekufu ado na edi wono enim no wototo nyoma sokra na ekatitiri dia na ewo sa asoyo energy sector honum enu no ejina eye 70 billion Ghana cedis na enu no pedi no eche mu se wo ba ye kra no emfaso wodo agege edi free energy sector levies no emu no ejina 45 billion Ghana cedis na enu na mpenifo eche mu se ekachechiri de da ho na enso no de wamba so ba be kan ya ban dada no aye ne de ne se abachechiri di atememufo to ye edema no kire se wo pese oman no ensakraye ebem aninti no odi ose ebeye oyo eyade obebo modern ne eye mentemo asibia ne ekachechiri die bia eda energy sector horo obehye na waso ano.
Mr. Speaker, my administration inherited an energy sector on the brink of collapse. It was weighed down by unsustainable debt. This unfortunate situation has led to many independent power producers and fuel suppliers threatening to cease their operations. Mr. Speaker, listen to this. Despite collecting over 45 billion cedis in energy sector levies, ESLA, over the last 8 years, the outgone administration has left the Ghanaian people with an energy sector burdened with a staggering debt of 70 billion cedis as of December 2024.
Yaguswa jinemu ewo openi John Dramani Mahama Ghana mampeni His Excellency asyaye ewa eni yaguswa yijina wabra oguswa address state economy no asema wo kan ye no state address no asema wo sa kan biomu NSS sadie yedum so ebrebi etwam ye de tu ni din no obehwe na anchiw bia akoso no obe fix ni nyina ene enkoba ne se ene ye so light na ochina ye dum light edabi obebo modea abomodea adidwuma ewodum so ne ho pa amadum so afiri oman Ghana mu no wie soso a sikasema enkoyie ne se ne oman na tete apansam no obebo modea na afei ode ne emagu akwam se ne be ya bibia ebede da na akwam.
With your permission, Mr. Speaker, and within the constraints of time, I'll take the liberty to elaborate on how we intend to address the numerous challenges facing us as a nation. Yesterday, February 26, 2025, marks exactly 10 years since I stood in this chamber, at this very spot, to declare my determination to fix Dumso, a legacy problem of power shortages. And Mr. Speaker, I fixed it. Yes, I promised to fix it, and I did. And I wish to place firmly on record that from January 2016 until I handed over the administration of this country on January 7, 2017, there was no power rationing or load management in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, today, inspired by the Almighty God and propelled by the massive mandate given to me by the good people of Ghana, I am moved to make a similar purposeful and bold declaration that I, John Dramani Mahama, I will fix the economic crisis confronting our country and reset it on a path of growth and prosperity.
Mampedi Kaseɛbɔ mana no eto ye penedom kuma won mahwe be fie no ade sonko ekoso endrada ewo ho eni se nedom kuma no ehye eye tuntum enedom kase do ehye fufu eno ena wodi behu won ensonsoro ye na Ghana mampeni anoto ye ewo ne Kasa Meche State of the Nation address no omane bobre no ode tu eja ewie ye pe ena wo so mu se woto enyum edom kuma no yankwohye sene ebi ekoye.
Honourable members, I now put the question.
Na sene wo mo edenwum no ekogu ye no abusia ye beko akwakoje ya home kitua bi aba nanso makai wo se ye kode na nyame ya adom na enwumre ye nyina ye ni etwemu ewo mayora fase gasamani all night a ekoso chinchirenche ne bomode a na fe wani etwemu ho nom sene be ya obeye nhira mepa cho eyes mayora fase junction bomode a na be kan ye ho na nyame ebisane abehwe ye ba sese ya.
Fordjour.
abusi ansa mama kwa babiem meda yeda se oje bre na utimi etwen ye na afei yebebo awura kase ni emu nanso ansa ne yebekọ no se ne yese bebia wotomfo bọ no eya na eho hia ne yie pa nyame ya adoma enefuo miensa ya papa akonyame anim na kodi nkomo wo yinefuo miensa si ho se nyame ma ye mra ne yemebom emompa ye ne emfa ya hawo ne ebisa de nyina ento nanim 3 days program I shall March bosome no shall 6th 7th and 8th on the 8th no communion service enti baby a wo bia bomodia na efrem penifo me patcho frechichi ne benchai ene ba na ope baby di tiato a afide atadwe ya tede ene enu nti bomodia ne frem penifo no mu register wo ento wo se ne be ya wo ba wo benya baby ade wuti ato yabato akase ene so
ya tia so dia na ye commercial beje fie ho na sonia no ekoso ewieye no na edom kuma no anoba ne deni we Alexander Kwame na afenyo marken ede nsem etu eja say his excellency ora John Dramani Mahama kasa no wosanko obo aban ababesenko abasomeche MPP amanyokua na nkane wo mampeni ene na adodankwa ekufu ado esense openi no efra ban mu ano di ne dwumedie ba ne wieye no oja sumdie na bibia deda na kwanso sikasem ni bibia obroni bese ye intact aninti onim yentia Ghana mampani tina simpie so a okenkan state of the nation address sanya amambra no ekere no okenkan na afi ni tirim pono ntema opeso ye edema oman no ode atu eja ne no peni ni chem se ne kasa ye mu nyina no wante ba kumpo se obo nkane mampani abaso
What we have heard today fails to acknowledge the strides made in the last 8 years. Mr. Speaker, the President failed to acknowledge that he came to meet a peaceful and a stable country. 2, the President failed to tell us that he came to meet a public and civil service that the government, in spite of all challenges, was able to pay consistently. Mr. Speaker, the President failed to tell us that in spite of all the crisis, consistently, the Akufo-Addo government was able to increase wages. And the minimum we did was 11% as compared to his 10%. Honorable Minority Leader, Mr. Speaker, to conclude.
Your time is
Mr.
up.
Speaker, to conclude.
Honorable members, my attention has been drawn to the presence of more distinguished members.
Openini kasewie ya honorable afenyo marking okasewie ya pe enedom kuma no ene edom kese no ene ebrahye bedwofie ho esiwani ense wo ka kire eho na abehu se wobi tota na obi two base obi to kwa na sai na Ghana fo ya wazo yesa me kire ye mpanifo sai wo munim nyom to pa ene ebrahye bedwofie ho enyom kese a wo mudi gina mu pa mu mienkwan na aja yankwan enjoy wo mu songs nemra.
Yada sujine mu wasansam no amu na je se wo share don kuma ne adom kese de se ne wono aka bom eto de mu de na je se asempa na aba afi ye 4th Republic no emu yada so ejine mu ora Alexander afenyo mark no gine din ye papa obeni no sanso gine simpie so eto nsem bi de mu na Ghana mampedi o kire bu se
Ghana man penny eye na so afo o kan se eye dunsia 60 na obeyi o de o se ayohyo na ye hye cabinet empedufo a won na ebebo Ghana man penny manage medie se odidi abo man Ghana no etubi abemu na eye cabinet wo no ye edunkron 19 na no no penny chemo Alexander chemo se emba ewo mu eye mienu pe Ghana man penny so can say ade ode emba ebe for the na memu no sane ebe bo ma ne o ma akonkan eninti no ne vice president kra oba na no na Alexander Echirebu say ma meze na to ho wa amfa no empenimfo emba titru pa wo mra hye fie opani ya amfa won onim ye nti a Ghana man penny excellency Ora John Dramani Mahama sa
He has today told us that we have 2.2.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's one thing I want you to know.
Honorable Minister, with your permission, I would like to crave your indulgence and lie prostrate before you and before our officers to plead with you.
What we have heard today fails to acknowledge. He has today told us that we have 2.2 million Ghanaians unemployed.
Abusia eguswa edieni echiremu ewo mrahye bedwafie edom kuma no ni futufo afenyo marking ojene ho ntre ha Ghana ha mamudie ene wufa ha obete onabo afenyo marking ena minister afenyo marking ene din asoto ni din ame apede ena Ghana for bono ori ede ensem bi atudwa na ne nsem kan nyina ne se womo dom kuma no nya de so mbeba mrahye bedwafie ne abemere shebejafie china na de enti a womo emmamra shebejafie nyina ene se womo ba omuni sebi adwuma bia omo beye e womra shebejafie eno nso ka ho bi eno nti ene omo emmamra shebejafie no.
Mr. Speaker, what are we seeing in this government? The same old stock. The same old stock. There's nothing new. There is nothing like transformation. Only yesterday, Mr. Speaker, the youth of the NDC besieged the headquarters of the NDC demanding for jobs. Where are the jobs? Mr. Speaker, today we are seeing the 184 or so filling this chamber, the 183, plus the independent MPs who have caucused with the NDC. Today this house is full, but Mr. Speaker, Mr. President must know that the majority is frustrated. They don't come to the chamber because there are no jobs for them. Mr. Speaker, no, we have patience.
Honorable members, please, honorable members. Honorable Minority Leader, you have 1 more minute.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, when Akufo-Addo was here on his last sonar, Akufo-Addo had patience for Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa to speak. Mr. Speaker, there must be patience for the minority side. I cannot be limited, Mr. Speaker. Let me finish. Mr. Speaker.
Swajiremu ewo Alexander Nsroma Kaseɛbɔ odi 2 ejano na nsɛm no a na Ghana mampani kinkan State of the Nation address no ewieye no ono so edi 2 eje humfoni ni bi ne yapropro ede acho ba ko osan so ekan ye ene sem Ghana mampani ede be 2 eje say enkofo a Ghana mampani na nkane mampani na nado danko Akufo-Addo fa won ewo aban njuma emu no won fa won dibre no emfa ento na won kotina efie ensem we bambɔntene so no timamufo bebre no a na ekasa ye and obete obekɔ asoye we ni yeyi nkrɔfo ewo ho obekɔ ne yeso bi di leakage e de ababɔntiti ye tunade so ana yeyi no e di efide ho eno ana Owura Alexander kyerɛ mu sɛ sonam abɔntene mpem bebre no a ensem otate ene sɛ mahama ba contamination bebre na kyerɛ sɛ yeyi nkrɔfo edi ne de akɔdɔ so pan nipa baako and offer ha yeso wo yi we edi and offer yeso wo yi we edi eno ene nam so amopani no ede sansem we etu eja.
He has today told us that we have 2.2 million Ghanaians unemployed. But what he has forgotten, that in his administration, in less than 100 days, all we know is sack them, dismiss her. Mr. Speaker, on the streets of Accra today, the youth of the country are saying that Mahama Baku termination bebre. Mr. Speaker.
Is in white because His Excellency the President, we knew very well, was bringing to us a message of hope. Mr. Speaker, our elders have cautioned that you don't leave your crown in the hands of a hyena as a caretaker when you are traveling. Don't be surprised when you come back and the carcasses of all your livestock are gone. Mr. Speaker, what has happened to our economy and our country and the presentation that has been made says it all. It is sad, it is unfortunate. But His Excellency the President has brought us hope. Hope for the youth of this country. Hope for the women. Hope for the Okada drivers. Hope for the private sector. Hope for students. And hope for ordinary Ghanaians who did everything to bring him to office with such an overwhelming number. Mr. Speaker, we have no doubt that everything outlined here gives hope, and this House will support His Excellency to deliver on his commitment. But more importantly, this House will support His Excellency to deliver on the promise of accountability. Those who so damage our economy must be held to deliver. On that note, I move that this House be adjourned to tomorrow 10 o'clock in the forenoon. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Company kai o mine bobre and rada ewie ne dum kuma no friends am chofo enhie mu wodin sam bi etu eja watchre mu say sanya o mine no ne bobre no etie do enye no na Ghana Company's Excellency Ora John Dramani Mahama editu eja watan so ekire mu say 50 days mekire endan kron beye eduenum a wono ebeji ekundwa no etna so obeye o Company ewo o mine Ghana emonum ekatwitwi die anabo wono akwakobo eye 59 billion na mpenifo ekire mu a na ewo senka obo aban ababesen eko abaso kakra nanso wanye nchirechire mu ni nyina no edom kuma no ekire mu sei.
There's one thing I want you to know, that our president did not address the true state of the nation's economy. We have a lot of time will not allow me. One statement that he made that I was very much surprised was the fact that we had left billions of cedis at the defense ministry. But he failed to tell us the crisis that was looming. He himself emphasized the point that our boundaries were threatening our country. In fact, this is what I have. I'll hand over to you. At the defense ministry, unprecedented achievements in the area of acquisition of equipment that has given us security as a country. He did not talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, our president failed to talk about the fact that Agenda 111 is ongoing and that some of the projects, we have completed them. Government is about continuity. Government is about continuing what has been done. You remember the popular affordable house by Omampanyi Kufuor. Previous government, being the NDC, abandoned this project. It had to take Nanado and Baumia's government to even complete those projects. Now he talked about railway sector. Tell me in the history of this country, apart from Nanado's government, who has accomplished unprecedented projects in the area of railway sector. Driving from here to Ho, you encounter about such major railway projects for crossing the roads. We have commissioned some of them and even brought into practice or operation coaches that are operating now. So if the president is trying to create the impression that the economy was so bad and it was criminally mismanaged.
I was saying you more a dom kumano a fair Nsroma Kaseɛbɔ ehyiemu or more Eddie or more a hawina to Tujano and no a wombrashibe fie hona and omuguswa e kasa say Mahama anya die ni Ghana Company wa anya die esan say one more abaya abetwem no one more na baso na ohwemu tre say abaya abaso yi metre Ghana Company onya ba ye na pe na nurses allowance ni nyina omutwem teachers allowance omunyina etwem afi so school feeding program and also so omechemu and afi so emebru ni bi atifia omo enyenyem na afi so ebi na ede omo ho ahye enuboni mu.
But for free SHS, over 100,000 young ones would have been home. But for Nanado's government, NHIS had already collapsed under first Mahama's administration. School feeding had collapsed. LEAP had collapsed. In fact, teachers and nurses allowances, the most essential services in any economic jurisdiction is education and health. But he cancelled all of them, making some of poor Ghanaians coming home only to be confronted with unwanted pregnancies. And some got into drugs. So we are saying that NPP government, in spite of the economic crisis that was unprecedented since the First World War, we've been able to restore the economy. We handed over a restored economy to the Mahama government. A working economy, operationally, it was so fundamentally correct that the economy that we left, in terms of primary macro indicators, in terms of secondary macro indicators, in terms of education, in terms of agriculture, in terms of health, they actually inherited a better economy. All the payments he's talking about, where did they get money from? Where did they get money from? Within this shortest possible time, they have borrowed almost 59 billion Ghana cedis. Only in 50 days, less than 2 months. Less than 2 months, Mahama's administration has borrowed 59 billion, unprecedented.
Yebe free ora nsensem ya wode atu eja mecheredom kuma ne nsem wode tu ejanom na ye de yeni atremu e wo Ghana Immigration Service na empanifo e de nsem wode dwumedie bi hihye so ene wo fasa akonya no so e de nsem bi atu eja ene nti General Kwame Taki e de nsem bi atu eja otremu se 120-30 seater buses a Ghana Immigration Service officers no e de no ade bia mentem wansi bi aba hom eni nti obesere mpanimfo se wobeti eye ekuo na wono aye nhyehyemu e wo saa ensebdo emu esanse wone eye mpanimfo ni bi ekasa ne wo kyeremu se ekuo bi enya didie no ewowo mu eni nti wo sesese nhyehyemu mapa etumi eyi nitia eno no boa ama wo ndwumedi a wo dido enso etumi akonenim.
Honorable Minister, with your permission, I would like to crave your indulgence and lie prostrate before you and before our officers to plead with you to constitute an investigative body to investigate the purchases of 20-30 seater buses for the welfare of the Ghana Immigration Service officers. Honorable Minister, this is due to the fact that some few officers think that the Controller General has malafide intention, that is bad faith, and also malfeasance in the purchase of this bus, to the extent that some electronic media have posed questions and have asked questions trying to tarnish the integrity, the character of the Controller.
Mr. Speaker, the President again.
Honorable members, please.
The President again came to this House with a familiar story, the usual lamentations. He packaged it in a language as though we have a new beginning. Mr. Speaker, if the President has any concerns, his duty is to fix it. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency, the President, has announced to us a cabinet of 19 with only 2 women. the daughter of the founder of this NDC, Zaneto Rollins, is missing. Hajia Ladi is missing. Helen Intosu is missing. Where are the women in this government? The vice president.
Honorable members, please, order.
Ora Alexander Afenya Kwame na Marken Nsroma Oditu Eja Womra Shebe Fie Wabraga na Mampeni's Excellency Eye John Dramani Mahama Kenkan State of the Nation Address and Drata in Sebino Estonia de Kasedi na ye Japan don Shireba konom ye di esi ede amount na ansane ye bekoni be hye ne di kase no mu akotene ye call eye Kwame Nkrumah Suapon no emu ho na ba beto Eja suppose for ensa so eye abrante kwa bia wono esusu se ono na eje ababaawa no enkwa edi free nsem
anya na ye de ani twiremu ewa Mami Elizabeth ejare aso ye dia wo se obodo modern a se ne Ghana mampani ebi ne se omo modern fa ne na isi wana 24-hour economy no enya adwuma no bedi hu adwuma pa
saso na Ghana Immigration Service mpanimfo se mpanimfo mbo modern to eye ekuo se na obeye nhyehyemu ede afa won 2030 seat buses no
Adam Kasia no openia wodo ma no Mahama ya yesema waka nyina se ora John Dramani Mahama Ghana mampani edi hope abrewo mu pa
wasa yeso na dwumedi e course no ade Ghana mampani edi to Eja say enkokọ nketenkete no wo behye edi abasa ne ebeboa ama embebu so edi wo ho afode fode emu
saso na ne na edom ketwa na omo wa mrahye bi no ayo ye chenchirenche pa ewo mrahye bi fi
Apam Global Church asafoko no ene so ya sinema yede ye kase ne yede besomu dani de nyina no so wonu aye no wono wo so ya sene ama yede kase no ede ebro ede nti bebi bia wo bia ne yesrew ya wade bia ye mpaibo kase e wo fidue mu ha sene obo ade aye ade na wochi ode ye kobokobokodom e ya ade ya wada we dwumedie bi yedi ye no yede akwa akogu na no nkyere se asore ana mpaibo enkoso kyere nso se ya wade bia no dwumedie ekoso e wo fidue mu ha ene nti bibi bia da osubia no ode ba bepie mu ewo ha na eye evangelist papa ni Ajman ewie embre mu a Nyankopon asa no go no onfa enkosa ne bi entomo saso ena dwumedi ebe koso meche 6th March 7th and 8th bibi bia wo bia no se wo fie chichi ne bencheye na untumi enko emba wo betumi afra home a mede ba betu Ejanom na wa reserve bibi a wo beda ye benya baby edi ama esanse wo hia ye nti ena mpenimfo aye ne kama ene kwanhye nkoso ede amount se wo bekọ na wabade etu de bia edin ye ne enim se sikasem ho ayedene ene ntini se wo firi ho watenkai bo no wo firi eyeto bebi bia wo bia no misrew number na mede betu Eja no ofa na ye hu se oba na afeni ya pe bebi a ana bia oba udie uti ebeto ene ntini se na mede nkankan no eye 6th 7th and 8th no eso eye communion service senia na watch aba sinko e course no saa so na eye this week no so next week nyampa ewremu a dwumedie no da ebesi no eye saa eye 2 weeks communion wine no eni ti bebi bia wo no ana communion service bebi bia wo no fa ka dwumedie a wudi hum se oba be pie mu e wo fidie mu asane Nyankopon e be fa wo so no waye wo hu ejuma eni ti no so chem